In today's video, I have to survive 100 days as a Netherite Golem. And also, I have 3 objectives. First, build my very own Nether village. Second, get myself a Netherite hammer. And finally, defeat the Ender Dragon. Can I survive these 100 days as a Netherite Golem in hardcore Minecraft? Keep watching and find out. So here we go, our journey begins on day 1, and the first thing I noticed, I could see that there was this piglin right in front of me, but for some strange reason the piglin was scared and backed up and ran away. I wonder why. Anyways, I also could see that we was in the Nether, and off in the distance, there it was, a crimson forest. This was great, so I decided to head over there and get myself some crimson wood. I would need this to craft myself a wooden hammer, and as a Netherite Golem, I had all these hearts, but I was getting a bit hungry. I needed to find some food, so I went around the Nether searching to see if I could find any food, and wouldn't you know it, there it was, a hoglin. So I headed over there and collected myself some pork chops. You see, I would need loads of these. So I went around collecting myself loads of pork chops. You see, I needed a way of cooking this food. So I went around the Nether and surprisingly I found some stone and then made a furnace. And yep, well, that's a lot better. We now got fresh food. Very nice. Anyways, after having my food, I thought why not go around the Nether to see what else I could find. So I went around searching and surprisingly off in the distance I found a Nether fortress. So I made myself a way down, but I ran straight into some lava. This was not good. But then I remembered I was a Netherite Golem. So I jumped into the lava and made a way over to the fortress. And after a bit of time, I made it over there and made a way up. Surprisingly, I found some nether warts, which I'll need this for potions. And you wouldn't believe it. As I opened up this chest, there it was. Diamonds. Wow, we got our first diamonds. Anyways, I left the fortress and I now wanted to go and find a place to live. And surprisingly, I found this spot and I thought here looks like a perfect spot to build my base. So I placed in my crafting table, furnace and also some chests so I could store some of my items. So I made some pickaxes and I think here's a perfect spot for my base. But I'll need loads of materials. So I headed to the warped forest and collected up some crimson wood. Hey, and also I found these streamlights and I thought these would look great for some decoration. Anyways, we finally get home and I start construction on my very own base. Nothing special, just a place to get me started, you know? And also thought why not make a nether wart farm? I would need this for potions, so I made a very simple nether wart farm. Nothing special, but it will do for now. And here's our nether wart farm. Doesn't look too bad with the crimson wood. Looks great. And over here, we got our temporary base. As you can see, we've got loads of warped wood, some streamlights. Now, I have to say, I'm very happy with this build. I think it looks amazing. Wow, there it is. Well. The next day, I thought why not go on a bit of an adventure? I wanted to see what I could find. So I headed around the Nether and I surprisingly stumbled across a bastion. This was very exciting. So I happily traveled over there and I found these chests, which contained a diamond shovel and a piece of ancient debris. Wow. There it is. Also found a golden apple, which is quite nice. But then, as I went to go and open up this chest right here, out of nowhere, I was attacked by all these piglins, and they did some serious damage. Phew, that was close. Anyways, I continued searching, and I found some gold. Now, I'll need this gold to make myself some golden apples. So, I went around the entire bastion, collecting up loads and loads of gold. Hey, piglins, hello. And also, I found some more diamonds. This was amazing. But even better than diamonds, there it was, a piece of netherite. I couldn't believe the odds. Anyways, I headed back home and have to say, it's nice to be back home. Anyways, what I decided to do was to make some golden armor and also a golden hammer. I had a lot of gold, so I thought why not make some golden armor? This should surely keep me safe. And there it is, we now got a full set of golden armor and tools, which should keep us very safe from those piglins. But I definitely think it's about time we go to the overworld. So I placed in some obsidian. And there it was. Anyways, it's time to head through. So I didn't hesitate, and I jumped through the portal. But as I made it to the other side, I could see that there was this village that has been set on fire. I couldn't believe this, so I rushed over there the quickest I could. And as I made a way over there, I could see that all the houses and trees have been set on fire. I wonder what happened here. But then, as I made myself a way up these stairs right here, I noticed off in the distance that there was this iron golem. So I went over there and went to go and speak with the Iron Golem. And as I made it over to the Iron Golem, I could see he was not very happy. But then he turned around and he was very shocked to see me. He wondered who I was. I told him I was a Netherite Golem and I came from the Nether. And then I said to the Iron Golem, what happened here? This place is ruined. He told me that the pillagers have come along and destroyed his base. And also he wanted to show me something. I wonder what this could be. So I made our way over and I couldn't believe my eyes. But then the Iron Golem said that the villagers have been taken to the nearest outpost. But sadly, the Iron Golem was not strong enough to take down these pillagers. They was way too strong. I then said to the Iron Golem I would help him. I would go to the outpost and get back his villagers. So I headed out in search of his pillager outpost. But then, there it was, the pillager outpost. And as I made myself a way over, I could see, yep, there they was, all these pillagers. There were so many of them. I knew what had to be done. So I rushed down there as quick as I could and I started attacking all the pillagers. I had to get these villagers back. Luckily for me, I was a Netherite Golem. Taking down these pillagers was super easy. And just like that, there it is. All the pillagers have been destroyed. It's time to set free the villagers. So I made myself a way up right here and set free to all the villagers. And there it is. All the villagers have been set free. It's time to return back to the Iron Golem. So the next day, I headed back to the village and told the Iron Golem that I was able to set free all his villagers. I could see the Iron Golem was very happy. He couldn't believe I did it, and he also wanted to thank me. I could see that it was this Fury Hammer. I couldn't believe it. This was amazing. Wow. Anyways, I thanked the Iron Golem and then told him I was getting a bit hungry and I needed some food. And surprisingly, the Iron Golem had a potato farm. This was great. So I headed over there and collected myself some potatoes. That should do it. That should be plenty of food. So I get home and I smell up all those potatoes that I collected. And I definitely think it's about time we build our very own village. And I think here looks like a fantastic spot to build our village. So I happily travelled back to the Crimson Forest and collected some crimson wood. And also I headed to the Bastion to collect myself loads and loads of blackstone. And yep, that should be all the materials we need. So I get home and start construction on this village, using a variety of different blocks like nether bricks, blackstone, and for the roof I used some blackstone stairs, which look pretty good. And also, I needed a way of keeping my villagers very safe, so I thought why not build a giant wall surrounding my base. Also built a bit of a nether wart farm so the villagers didn't get bored. The only thing we have to do now is go and get some villagers. So I made a brand new nether portal, and as I headed through, I could see I was in the caves. So I made myself a way up right here, and I went searching for a village. And surprisingly, I found one. This was great. And yep, there they was, all these villagers. Hey, and also, an Iron Golem. Hello there, Iron Golem. Anyways, I needed to get the villagers back to my base, so I placed them in boats and headed back home. And finally, we make it to our brand new home. And I could see the villagers were very happy to be here. Anyways, I collected up some more villagers, and I have to say, this place is pretty much done. I could see the villagers were quite happy. Anyways, after building the village, I thought, you know what? It's about time we build ourselves a brand new home. So I got to work on clearing out a massive space, removing all the blocks that were in the way. And this time I used loads of different blocks, which looks pretty good. And also, you can't forget about decoration. So I placed in some glass and also some leaves. And I have to say, placing in leaves made my place look very nice. And finally, here it is. Doesn't look too bad if I say so myself. As you can see, we've got loads of decoration. And if we head indoors, we got a crafting table, a chest so we can store all our items, a bunch of leaves which look great, and also a potato. And yeah, quite simple, but it looks great. Okay, our armor is not looking that good. Oh no, I think it's time we go for an upgrade. So I headed around the world and found this giant ravine. And surprisingly, there was loads of iron here. This was great, so I collected up loads of iron and then found some copper. I would need this copper for my spyglass. But then I found some lapis. I would need this for enchanting, so I'll be sure to take this. But then, as I was making myself a way around the caves, there it was, diamonds. This was amazing. So I headed over there and collected up some diamonds. Whoa, that should do it. That should be plenty of diamonds. But then, as I was making myself a way around the caves, I found this lush caves. This was great, and surprisingly, I found some glowberries. This was amazing. But then, as I was making myself away through the lush caves, there it was, an axolotl. So I made myself an iron bucket and decided to go and collect up the axolotl. Wow, there it is. We now got a pet axolotl. Anyways, it's time to head back home, finally. But then, as I got back home, I could not believe my eyes. I could see my entire base has been set on fire. I couldn't believe this. I wonder what happened here. I could also see my wall has been destroyed as well. I wonder who did this. Just look at this place. It's completely destroyed. But then, out of nowhere, I was ambushed by all these pillagers. This was not good. I could see there were so many of them. I had no choice but to fight through this. And I have to say, they did some serious damage. Then, as I made myself way up right here, I could see even more of them. This was terrible. And I have to say, it helped. Being a Netherite golem, I had all these hearts. Finally, I've taken down all the pillagers. I can't believe it. Just look at my base. It's completely been destroyed. So the next day, I went around repairing my base, fixing all the damage that the pillagers have done. But then surprisingly, I also noticed that my villagers have survived. This was great. Anyways, I went around fixing the rest of my base. Luckily, I was able to fix the village, fix my homes. But there was one thing I wasn't able to fix, and that was the nether portal. I needed some obsidian, but I definitely think it's about time we make some diamond armor. So I headed back to my crafting table and made a full set of diamond armor, and also decided to make a diamond hammer. Now this should surely keep me safe. And there it is. We now got a full set of diamond armor and tools. This should surely keep me safe from the pillagers. Hey, and I almost forgot about the spyglass, so I made that as well. But I definitely think it's about time to find some obsidian, so I went around the nether searching. And then, after a couple of days of searching, I noticed off in the distance that there was this piglin, and I could see it was the piglin from earlier. But then, the piglin spotted me, and he ran away again. I needed to go and chase him, so I chased after the piglin. And then, as I turned this corner right here, I could see that there was this entire base right here. I needed to go and investigate this. I could see that there was this entire base set up right here, with this enchantment table, food farm. I couldn't believe it. Anyways, I needed to go and find the piglin, so I went around searching. Now I wonder where the piglin can be. I have to say, I was a little bit too big to fit through this door. Oh well. But then, as I turned around, I couldn't believe it. There he was, the piglin. So I went to go and speak with the piglin, and I could see the piglin was pretty scared. I told the piglin I was not here to hurt him. I just needed to find some obsidian. I could see the piglin had some obsidian, and then he decided to give it to me. Couldn't believe it. I thanked the piglin for his help, and then the piglin said that he should probably get on his way, and turned around and left. Anyways, I needed to go and build this nether portal. I needed to go and check up on the iron golem, so I went back home and fixed up the nether portal. And there it is. And as I made it to the other side, I could not believe my very own eyes. There it was. The entire village has been set on fire. I could not believe it. The pillagers. And as I went to go and look through my spyglass, I noticed that there was this vindicator with this ravager. I needed to go and confront them, so I made myself a way over there. I told the Vindicator I was here to stop them, but before I could do anything else, the Vindicator and Ravager turned around and ran away. I needed to go and stop them, so I sprinted through the fire, and as I made myself way up these stairs right here, there it was, Vindicators and pillagers everywhere. So I started attacking them, taking down all the illagers. And there it is, all the illagers have been destroyed. Just look at this place, it's been completely destroyed. I will get my revenge. Just look at this place, everything has been ruined. All the buildings and everything has been set on fire. I will get my revenge. I can't believe the pillagers will do this. Well, okay, I have to say, our armor's not looking that good. I think it's time to go and enchant it. But first, we would need an enchantment table. So I headed back to the caves and went to go and find some obsidian. And as I was traveling through the caves, I found some diamonds. This was great. I would also need these for the enchantment table. Anyways, I continued searching to find some lava. And surprisingly, I found some. This was amazing. So I headed down there and collected up some obsidian. And then I went straight home and made the enchantment table. And there it is, the enchantment table. But of course, the enchantment table would need a place to go. So I thought, why not turn my old home into an enchantment room? It would be perfect. So I got to work on making this place look like an enchantment room. Used loads of warped wood, which I thought looks quite nice. And also, you cannot forget about decoration. So I added loads of leaves around and also some lantern. And finally, here it is, the enchantment room. Now to say, with all the warped wood and leaves, look great. Anyways, it's time to place in the enchantment table. After that, I went to go and see what enchants I could get, and yeah, it was no good. So I would need some bookshelves. But first, I needed to go and collect some ender pearls and also some blaze rods. And then I went home and crafted some eyes of ender. And it is now time to go and find some bookshelves. And then finally, by the next day, there it was, the stronghold. And also, I found the end portal. This was great, but I was not here to go for the end portal today. So I went around the stronghold searching, and I have to say, being this tall was not so easy. Making it around this stronghold was pretty difficult. But then, the library, just what I was looking for. So I went around, collected myself loads and loads of bookshelves. I would need loads of these. Alright, that's plenty of bookshelves. It's now time to return home. So I safely travelled back home and made a load of bookshelves. And then went to go and place them in, of course. And here it is. The enchantment room is now complete. It's now time to do some enchanting. So I went to go and enchant my diamond hammer, get myself Unbreaking 3, Fortune 3, and also Efficiency 4. This was amazing. But sadly, I ran out of levels. Not to worry, I had this brand new diamond hammer. So I went around the nether and collected myself loads of quartz, so I could get myself loads of levels. Now I have to say, with this new diamond hammer, collecting all these levels was super easy. So I collected about 50 levels, which would be plenty, and then I returned back home and enchanted all my diamond armor, getting myself some fantastic stuff. And also, I thought, why not go and enchant a bow? You never know, I might need this. And there it is, we now got a full set of enchanted diamond armor and tools. I think it's time to go and get our revenge. This is it. It is now time to get our revenge on those pillagers for what they did. So I headed to my villagers and I wanted to get myself a woodland mansion map. So I spent a couple of days grinding to get myself a woodland mansion map. But then I realised I couldn't get a woodland mansion map in the nether. Not to worry, I was able to head to the overworld and get myself a woodland mansion map. And there it is. So I didn't hesitate and I travelled across the lands, searching for this woodland mansion. And then finally, after a long search, there it was, the woodland mansion. I knew what had to be done. I had to go there and destroy this mansion. So I rushed over there the quick as I could, and as I entered, I was greeted with this vindicator. So I went through the mansion, fighting off vindicators, and then I summoned across the evoker. But luckily, I was easily able to take him down, and there it is. We now got a totem of undying. Anyways, I continued to go around, taking down all the illagers. With all those extra hearts and that diamond armor I had, they couldn't stop me. I was way too powerful. There it is. All the illagers have been destroyed. They didn't stand a chance. But there's one last thing to do. Set this place on fire. Now this has definitely showed them never to mess with me again. And in seconds, this whole mansion was alight. I needed to get out of here quick, so I rushed around the mansion to find myself a way out. But then, as I turned this corner, I could see, there he was, the Iron Golem. He survived. I needed to get him out quick, so I rushed over to the Iron Golem, and I could see he was injured, and he was very surprised to see me. He couldn't believe it was me. I told the Iron Golem I needed to get him out of here quick, as soon as possible. This whole place was on fire. I needed to set him free. So I used my diamond pickaxe to set free the Iron Golem, and then I told the Iron Golem to follow me. We needed to get out of here quick. Poof, that was close. But luckily, he was able to get out of the mansion. I could see the Iron Golem was very injured. Then the Iron Golem thanked me for saving his life. I told him not to worry, and we should definitely get back home. And then finally, after a couple days of searching, we make it back to base. And I could see the Iron Golem was not happy. His home was destroyed. I then said to the Iron Golem he could stay at my village. The Iron Golem said that would be a good idea, but first he needed to go and get all his items. Well, with all of that out of the way, I think it's time to build our axolotl her very own home. But unfortunately, I can't build it in the nether. So I thought, why not head to the overworld and turn this place into my base? So I started clearing out a massive space, and then I got to work on building my axolotl her very own home. Added in some water, placed in some moss blocks, added a few trees around, some lanterns, and of course you cannot forget about leaves. So I placed those in as well. And yeah, it looks amazing. Very nice. And here it is. Looks pretty good if I do say so myself. Anyways, the last thing to do is to place in the axolotl. And there it is. And I can see the axolotl was very happy. But we're missing one thing. We need a potato farm. Should definitely do it. That should be plenty of food. Anyways, I think it's now time to go on a bit of an adventure. So I headed out across the lands and I found this desert, which is pretty cool. And also, I found a desert temple. This was even better. Anyways, I headed over to the desert temple, and luckily I was able to find a golden apple. This was great, but as I was exploring the desert once again, I found another desert temple, and this time it had even better loot. But then, as I was exploring, I found this mangrove swamp, so I headed around this swamp and decided to collect some dirt. You never know, I might need this for my builds. But then, I also stumbled across some frogs. Hey frogs. Anyways, I went around collecting loads of wood and also thought, why not go and collect a load of leaves? But then, as I was going across the ocean, I stumbled across a shipwreck. So I made my way down into the shipwreck and I found myself a treasure map. So I thought, why not go and find myself some buried treasure? And it should be around here somewhere. So I started digging, and then there it was, the buried treasure. But then, even better than all this loot, there it was, a jungle. This was just what I was looking for. So I headed over there and collected some bamboo, and also thought, why not go and collect some cocoa beans? I would need these for cookies. Can't forget about jungle wood, so I collected some of that as well. And then, as I was collecting some jungle wood, I found some pandas. So I went over there and went to go and say hi to the pandas. I could see the pandas were very happy. Anyways, as I was out on my journey, I found a mushroom biome, which was quite nice. But then, I found a badlands biome. This was great. So I headed over there and went around exploring to see what I could find. And I found a chicken. Anyways, after that, I collected up some terracotta. And yeah, that was a nice adventure. But I think it's now time to return home. Well, we finally make it back home. I have to say, after that long adventure, it was nice to be back home. But as I was looking around my base, I noticed off in the distance that the Iron Golem was here. And I could see the Iron Golem has brought all these villagers along as well. The Iron Golem said this place was perfect. And I could see the Iron Golem was very happy to be here. Wow. But then, I looked at my armor and could see it was completely destroyed. I think it's time to go and get ourselves some netherite armor. First, I'll need a mending book. And surprisingly, I was able to get one. So I happily purchased a mending book and then put that on my diamond hammer. And that should do it. It should now never break. Anyways, I think it's time to go and find some ancient debris. I would need a lot of this. Okay, that should do it. That should be plenty of ancient debris. So I collected up all the ancient debris and then headed home and smelted it all up. And then I patiently waited for all the ancient debris to be smelted up. And then finally I turned all my armor into netherite and also decided to make the netherite hammer. Wow, there it is. Anyways, I turned the rest of my tools into netherite. And there it is. We now got a full set of netherite armor and tools. Wow. But I definitely think it's about time we start preparing for the Ender Dragon. So I collected loads of ender pearls and also I would need some blaze rods. So I collected loads of them as well. It's now time. It's now time to go and defeat the Ender Dragon. So I collected all the stuff from my chest, all the stuff I would need for this fight. And before I left, I made sure to say goodbye to all my friends and pets, like the villagers, the Iron Golem, and of course my axolotl. This might be the last time I would ever see them. And then I headed out. And finally, there it was, the end portal. Wow. So I placed in all the ice vendor one by one. And there it is, the portal has opened. There's no turning back now. So I jumped through the portal, and there she was, the Ender Dragon. I knew what had to be done. I had to destroy all the end crystals as soon as possible. And I could see the Ender Dragon was not happy whatsoever. I knew I had to end this quick. But then, the Ender Dragon flew towards me and sent me flying. But luckily I was okay. Poof, that was close. Anyways, I continued to go around and destroy the end crystals. And then finally, there it is. All the end crystals have been destroyed. It's now time to fight the Ender Dragon. This is it. It is now time. It is now time to end this fight once and for all. So I waited for the right opportunity and I struck, defeating the Ender Dragon. Wow. There it is. Wow. There it is. We did it. We defeated the Ender Dragon. And I have to say, there was a lot of XP here. So I collected up all the XP that was here. And before I went home, there was one last thing to do. I needed to go and collect the Ender Egg. And there it is. Wow. And finally, on day 100, what I decided to do was to build a place for my Ender Egg. And I thought here looked perfect. So I cleared out a bit of space and decided to use some nether bricks, some quartz, which looked pretty good, and also placed in some lava, which I thought actually looked very nice. And finally, I added a item frame with an ender eye, and yeah, it looks amazing. And finally, here it is, and I have to say, it looks incredible. Anyways, it's time to place in the Ender Egg. Wow, there it is, we did it. But then, as I turned around, I could see the Iron Golem was here. He said this place looks incredible. Wow, I thank the Iron Golem, and I have to say, this place does look incredible. There it is. We have finally survived 100 days as a Netherite Golem in hardcore Minecraft. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys all next time. Peace out.